Unrevealed facts in history. Cleopatra likely wasn't Egyptian. DNA analysis of her descendants suggests Cleopatra belonged to a Greek Macedonian lineage that had ruled Egypt for centuries. The Viking voyages to America weren't one-time events. New evidence suggests Vikings may have had a more sustained presence in North America than previously thought. The Mona Lisa may have been pregnant. A recent examination of the painting suggests subtle clues that Lisa del Giocondo, the subject, might have been pregnant while sitting for Da Vinci.
MD in 44, a group of angry senators led by Brutus began attacking Caesar with daggers and sticks. Caesar initially tried to resist the attackers, but when he saw his adopted son Brutus decamp between them, he stopped fighting. When he was stabbed 23 times and saw his adopted son, he told him, "Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus?" Today, people all over the world use this word when they feel betrayed. And behind the fact that this iconic word has become so famous lies such a bad story. One of the most interesting notes of the Middle Ages is Ein. It was Gregory's declaration of cats as agents of the devil. It is not known why the Pope came up with such a superstition, but after that day, a great cat hunt began in Europe. The damage caused to the natural cycle by the slaughter of tens of thousands of cats would cost Europe very dearly. The plague epidemic, known as the Black Death in Europe, was caused by mice carrying these bacteria. The germ spreads to people from day to day, but no one could do anything because there was no cat to destroy the mice. 1/3 of the population of the European continent lost their lives at the end of this epidemic. In the 11th century Italy, the appearance of the fork on the stage of history was met with great controversy. This pointed object, designed to make eating spaghetti easier, was considered a crime against God. Forks were seen as artificial hands, and using them instead of the hand given by God was deemed the greatest of sins.
Unknown information about Titanic. The Titanic was promoted as practically unsinkable, not unsinkable. The advanced life-saving technology and watertight compartments fueled this confidence, which was tragically misplaced. A fire broke out in a coal bunker several days before the voyage began. This weakened the hull and may have contributed to the speed at which the Titanic sank. There weren't enough lifeboats for all passengers, a shocking fact considering the ship's size. The legend of the band playing heroically as the ship went down is true. The musicians continued playing to calm the passengers until the very end.
Einstein has a very interesting marriage contract with his wife of 11 years. Since Einstein had very bad relations with his wife, he decided to continue his marriage for the sake of his children. The rules Einstein set in this contract are as follows. Make sure my clothes and underwear are in order. I will eat my 3 meals regularly in my room. My bedroom and study will be tidy, and no one else will use it except me. You will cut off all communication with me unless it is necessary. You will not ask me to live with you or go on a trip with you. No physical intimacy from me. You will not humiliate me with your words or behavior in front of our children. Einstein's wife accepted this one-sided contract. Then, a few months later, his wife and children moved to Zurich and they lived separately for 5 years. Then they divorced in 1919. And the year they divorced, Einstein married his second cousin. Sufferings for beauty. Corsets were seen as a sign of morality and respectability for women from the Victorian era in England. Due to the pressure caused by corsets, the location of internal organs in the body changes. Indigestion and breathing difficulties caused by this tightness led to fainting and even internal bleeding. In a list published in 1874, 97 diseases, including hysteria and melancholy, were linked to corset wearing. Moreover, in a New York Times article in 1903, it was written that a 42-year-old woman died, and the autopsy revealed that 2 metal pieces in her corset had penetrated her heart. Also, very long nails were fashionable in China during the reign of the Qing dynasty, which ruled the country for almost 300 years. These nails showed that the owner did not have to do anything with his hands, and that there were servants around him.
Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than the building of the Great Pyramid. Cleopatra died in 30 BCE, while the Great Pyramids were built around 2550 BCE. The iPhone was released in 2007. The Vikings weren't just raiders, they were also skilled traders. They established trade routes throughout Europe and even reached North America. Chocolate was once used as currency. The Aztecs valued cocoa beans so highly they used them as a form of money. Napoleon Bonaparte was actually of average height for his time. The idea of him being short is likely a result of British propaganda.
In the Middle Ages, a court was established for animals that committed crimes, and they were tried. Judgment of animals generally stems from religion because the church and the public view animals as evil beings. Animal courts are divided into 2: animals that kill or maim people, and animals that damage crops in the field. For example, a rooster tried in a court of law was found guilty of committing an unnatural act by laying eggs. Letters were written to the rats to leave the buildings. A parrot in France shouts, "Long live the king." It was decided that he would be executed for shouting. and then the parrot was made to memorize sentences praising the revolution, and his sentence was lifted. Animals had lawyers to defend themselves, and some served time in prison before trial.